guys, it's me again. I'm here to record another Yasha's X-Trospectives. I cannot pronounce my own title! Okay, the retrospective on the second X-Men movie. There's that. It goes from red to brown under the tilt of my head. That is so weird. Anyway. Yes, right now in Canada it is currently minus 20 Celsius, so I am freezing. I have Persephone here to be helping me warm my lap, along with a blanket, so she's going to be providing great commentary on this next film. Yeah, just another little thing I wanted to show you guys. My last Christmas present. I got the dog tags of Wolverine for Christmas. The actual dog tags. Yeah, look at that. Yee! And I also got this. Yeah. I got these for Christmas, so yeah. The second X-Men movie. This is my favorite one. And there's many reasons why it's my favorite. Number one is because of Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler, oh my god! I'm even wearing navy bluish colors. Totally by accident, I might add, so yeah, it's got the navy blue, got all that, so yeah. I love this movie. Nightcrawler is my favorite X-Men character of all time, and this movie does him justice. Let's just try to recap. Like the beginning scene with the, you go into the tour of the White House, and a guy wearing obvious face paint, and how someone thought that would be fooling anybody, I don't know. This guy would clearly still have scars and clear tattoos still over the paint that would still get him looks. How he got past security in the first place? Wearing a trench coat and the fedora hat and the glasses? How did he get past security in the first place? How? Did Stryker use his abilities to get him past security? I don't understand. If that was the case, then why didn't he just get him closer to the president? I don't understand this. I just don't understand how he could have been able to pass through security in the first place. Like, people would check. Like, obvious trench coat, yeah, you would probably do a check. Whatever. And then the glorious scene happens. The battle thing with the flipping and kicking and the teleporting. Oh my god. Sometimes I just go back to the movie just for that scene alone. That is an amazing scene. Oh my god, I can watch it forever. And the fact there was a real stunt person doing this thing and not CGI at all. Like, of course the teleporting effects had to be CGI, but still, most of it was all practical effects. And it felt so real and so good and so realistic. Oh my god, I love it! And the Mozart playing in the background. I'm sure that's Mozart. I'm not sure which part of it is. I just remember from Amadeus, that's my go-to knowledge of Mozart right there, so... and having Tom Hulce, the voice of Quasimodo in The Hunchback of Notre Dame, my first favorite Disney movie ever, being Amadeus and singing in that role, that kind of shocked me. Yeah, I saw him in Animal House too, but that's another thing. But anyway, yeah, Mozart playing. It is such a good thing. Oh my god. And the working with the tail and the flip and that whole scene when he's in the president's office thing. The slow-mo. Oh my god! And Alan, obviously Alan coming, pinning the president to the desk and doing that thing like, ah. Oh, that was quite nice. Yeah, and he gets shot in the arm and, obviously teleports away. That snaps him out of it. The punches to the fist and kicks wouldn't stimulate a wake-up call, just getting, I guess, shutting the arm anyway. And he teleports away, and mutant freedom now on the knife. Yeah, subtle, right there. Yeah, you promote freedom by violence. Makes sense to me! And anyway, we catch up with Wolverine in Canada! I'm not sure where in Canada it was filmed, but obviously all that snow that you see in the beginning of the movie, that's pretty much how it is here right now, currently, as this is being filmed, because, yeah, I just walked out the door and it was snowing and frost is everywhere. The frost is on all the trees. It all looks like a winter wonderland, even though it's a minus 20 degrees Celsius. That's not wonder. And Wolverine was walking on these ruins of the dam and the ruins of this base and comes across a wolf. And the wolf sort of looks at him and then he looks at him and then they just sort of, the wolf leads him to there. Huh? I don't understand this. Like, do they have a connection because the animal, like, things, I don't really understand this. What was this supposed to mean? Like, he's wild and the wolf somehow knows this? How? Anyway, so yeah, Wolverine goes to the base and finds out there's nothing there. Oh, well, poo. He made all that trip for nothing. Oh, okay. She decided to go. She's done with this commentary. Thank you, Persephone. You were most helpful. Bye. And then we cut back to, yeah, everyone, the X-Men people going to the museum and the guy sticking it. I love the scene with the kid where they're just like having a contest with sticking out the tongue and then the guy, demon tongue, and that automatically wins. And, yeah, and in this first movie you start to notice that Jean, got a completely different haircut, like me, just completely different haircut, and, that she's starting to hear all kinds of noises without her wanting to. Like, everything just sort of comes in at once without her knowledge. That's a bit how it feels like to be me sometimes. Like, you don't mean to hear certain things, but it just sort of gets picked up anyway, and sometimes everything, absolutely everything, the background closes in at you at once. That's how it basically kind of feels like to be me and other such people with my condition, and most of the time anyway, so I'm not sure if that was meant to be, but yeah, so you start to see snippets of foreshadowing for the Phoenix, which is interesting enough, and then we come across, of course, Bobby and Pyro and Rogue in the lunchroom, apparently having an argument with some guy wanting to borrow a lighter, lighting a cigarette indoors in a public place. I'm not sure if that's allowed, but either way, Pyro's being a dick. Surprise, surprise. Not our Pyro, not Pyro OMG, just the Pyro in the movie is being a dick. This is not shocking. And then things escalate and uses powers and, yeah, use your powers in broad daylight because someone's being a dick. Bravo. Yeah. And the professor comes in, makes everything stand still. And a awesome scene. The next time you feel like showing off, don't. Like a boss. And it gets heard on the news that a mutant tried to assassinate the president. Oh, yeah, I think we better go. Come along, children, come along. Let's have tea. Let's see, what else happens? Oh yeah, we get to see Colonel William Stryker, played by that British bad guy person who's almost a bad guy in absolutely everything that he's done. I remember seeing him in Troy and really hating him. I don't know his name, I'm sorry to say. And we see Deathstrike, who says nothing almost the entire movie. I think she only had maybe one line in the entire movie. I think only one line. When she turns around and when she notices that Mystique in disguise is like turning around, she goes, "What are you doing here?" I think it was the one line this woman has said the entire film. One line. I know you're going for the entire whole silent, deadly assassin thing, but come on. The woman only got one line. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. But the silver pointed nails are kind of interesting enough, and she's cracking her nails really, really loudly, and that's getting attention. Yeah, so they discuss the whole mutant problem, because, yeah, someone tried to kill him, and Stryker's all like, yeah, we should try to hunt them down. He finds out pictures from the school, getting information out of Eric, and Kelly, disguised as, like, Mystique disguised as Kelly, heard, like, Eric, like, oh, Eric Lencher, the guy who's, yeah, that suddenly popped up, like, Eric, you know where he is? And, yeah, treating it as some kind of war. Oh, God. It's not a war unless you people make it one. Like, why is this such a huge thing? Why? I don't understand this. But, yeah. And then Wolverine comes back, and, comes back to the mansion, and Rogue's all happy to see him, and meets Iceman, her boyfriend. Having a boyfriend for, well, I can kind of see it happening if it's love, like, emotional, but for physical-wise, I don't quite see how, unless you have some crazy latex stuff. And I don't know the viewing audience of my channel, so I'm not going to go into detail on just how that's going to be possible, but latex, a lot of latex would have to be involved in order for that kind of thing to happen, and I don't know if there will be any. Okay, yeah. And we see a little bit of Colossus. He draws a little funny cartoon of Rogue kissing Bobby, and he goes like, yeah, and Bobby's already kind of territorial for Rogue when meeting a guy who's like twice her age, getting excited to see him. Okay, you clearly have some issues. But again, I guess it doesn't really matter because Bobby is not at the time this movie came out, but recently, like a couple of years, like maybe a couple of months back in 2015, I can at least remember, I think it was officially announced by Marvel and other, in a little comic, and at least in an alternate universe, that Iceman is gay. Well, bravo to you, Marvel! I am very proud of that. I am very happy for that kind of innovation, that kind of forward thinking, and yeah, just good job on that. So yeah, Iceman, at least in this continuity, is straight, so, and dating Rogue, so there's that. And then the professor asks Logan to stay over for babysitting the entire mansion, and while Scott and him go visit Eric to ask about this possible mutant thing, because, yeah, he would know. And oh yeah, speaking of Eric, yeah, we see him in the prison, plastic prison thing, and that kind of scene is sort of a little bit, yeah, because the way the cameras start to turn off, and he's just, like, reading his book, and the camera's, like, beside him, like, all blink off and on, and he's like, oh, yeah, he knows what it means. He knows what it is. He knows what's coming, and it's so uncomfortable. He knows what's gonna happen to him, and oh my god, oh, this poor guy. I know I'm still saying that, but this, yeah, still a poor guy. And then Stryker comes in and puts the serum in the back of his neck. And there was yeah, to get him to tell him all about the Xavier Institute, and it's just very uncomfortable. And Bobby and Logan get to interact with each other, and it sort of comes off of a really weird thing, like, again, like, Bobby might, almost feels like Bobby is a little bit threatened by Logan. I don't know why. Logan, I don't think, has any romantic interest in Rogue. Again, like, age difference is obviously a factor here, not just because of how old he actually is, but yeah, just, I don't understand this. Yeah, he chills his bottle by blowing on it and hands it to him. I've seen the way you look at Jean. He's like, excuse me? Never mind. Yeah, it's even apparent to the students that Logan has the hots for Jean. This is not a big secret. And I'm sure Scott is even aware of this, and yeah. So Jean and Storm go off to find the mutant who tried to assassinate the president using, like, Cerebro. Like, finally got a track of him because he's teleporting everywhere. It's kind of hard to keep track of somebody like that, you know? And they introduce plot points, foreshadowing early, like, if Cerebro is used too hard or he thinks concentrates too hard, he can actually kill somebody with a thing, so it's foreshadowed nicely. So anyway, Storm and Jean find Nightcrawler in Boston, in an abandoned church. We get to see more Nightcrawler, oh my god. He's like, get out! No, that is disturbance. I'm not quite sure what he says. Maybe it's in German, I don't know. Either way. Storm summons lightning into the entire building and crashes into the pillar and goes, and he falls down. Ah! You're a teleporter! So teleport! I know you were caught off guard, but just when you're falling, you teleport. I don't know, but Jean catches him in air, which is a totally cool effect, too, and it's like, oh my god! It's like, please don't kill me, oh, I didn't mean to hurt anyone. Who's Alan Cumming, oh my god! I figured out who Alan Cumming was because of this film, and yeah. It's really awesome, like, the character, oh my god, and this whole scene, I could recite his lines in this movie, oh my god. When he's lying in the bed, oh my god, poor man had to be in makeup for God knows how many hours, applying not only the blue paint, but also the tattoo scar marks all over his body, like all over his face. That would take long enough, you know? But for that one scene, he had to go in even longer to have his entire torso painted and marked on. Sir, I applaud you for that. That is what you had to go through in makeup and process. It was completely worth it. Your performance and your energy and vivacity and what you brought to this character was incredible. And in the special features of the DVD, yeah. The DVD. Of course I have the DVD, and it's all shiny. There's special features in here. It's a 2-disc thing. I've had this thing forever. And behind the scenes, you hear how he gets his performance. Like, he bases it on movement. Like, he's in the circus, and he has this thing, so he bases it entirely like movement of the character in order to get it. So, he did his research. He actually cared, and he put a lot of effort into it, and I'm so glad he did, because this is epic. I want him to come back as older Nightcrawler in future movies, but maybe not with practical effects, maybe like what they did with Avatar, like with the whole 3D thing now. They could do that now with Alan. They could just do the whole thing like they did with the Hulk, the whole CGI. I'm not one for CGI. I'm not. If it can be avoided, I suggest you do, but in this kind of case, it probably could work. Like what you did with Avatar. That could work. Or they could have the Hollow Watch. You know, like the Hollow Watch that he puts on for the human form. That way, he can still be in the movie, and he doesn't have to spend... He can spend however many time in the makeup and not in the makeup, so that could be manageable. That could actually kind of work. You introduce a thing from the comics, and you can have your actor not have to be entirely in the makeup chair for the entire time, so that's a possibility. All they find out from Nightcrawler is that he was just in the circus, and all he remembers, he just doesn't remember much, and they find the mark on his neck, meaning that Stryker got to him. How he got to a teleporter, I don't know. I'm not too entirely sure how you would capture a teleporter when they could just, you know, teleport anywhere they want. Like, as long as they're able to see where they're going. I can't remember the range that he has, like 2 miles? I think it was, at least in the X-Men Evolution cartoon, he says, like, his limit was 2 miles, so I don't know the full limit of what he can do in the comics or in the movie universe or anything like that, but still, you'd be able to at least try to get away. Anyway, so, and then the mansion gets attacked. The mansion gets attacked, and Wolverine just notices, he hears sounds, his senses go off, an all badass thing where he just stabs the guy right through the fridge, like, Rah! Turns to Bobby, okay? He's like, kind of freaked out. And then the kid gets woken up and starts screaming bloody murder, or singing a Miley Cyrus song in high pitch, we don't know, but still it causes people to go, ah, God, and it wakes the whole place up. Great alarm clock there. And, yeah, everyone's just, and we see a little bit of Kitty again there too. When the person comes in, she just flumps down the faces of the bed and faces the wall, so we see a little bit of Kitty in there. Again, foreshadowing for Kitty. Good for that. And Wolverine gets some cool fighting sequences in this thing. He just charges a guy going, ah! Oh my god, he gets some cool scenes in this sequence. Sorry, my computer was there. Oh yeah, I love the whole, like, infiltration scene. And we see Colossus turn into the whole metal armor thing. The guy's shooting at him and the bullets are going off, and he walks towards him, and the next thing you know, right through the fucking wall! Yeah, why he doesn't stick around and help them, Logan and everyone else, escape. Yeah, he just goes with the children, they all escape. Not all the children get out, but still. And oh my god, yeah! And then Logan confronts Stryker, and there's hinted that there's a past. He just stops and starts, like, I know you. Where do I know you? And then Iceman saves him in the whole wall of ice, and I just cannot say how much I love this movie enough. I just love it to pieces. I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. And then the whole car stealing thing. Yeah, just like, this is Scott's car, oh yeah? Middle finger claw to the thing. And turning on the radio to bye bye bye, that's how I got the joke for episode 12. Like in the Scott's cars playing NSYNC, like bye bye bye, that's a little nod to that. So that's where I got that. And so they head to Boston and defer Bobby's parents just to lay low until this whole thing blows over. And yeah, I just love the interaction with the cat, the house cat they have. Like Wolverine just sort of hears this rustling thing when he's just drinking a beer, like drinking someone else's beer. Nice. He just turns around like, and then the cat's like, hello? And I love the cat! The cat licks the ends of the claws. It's like, hello, bro. Oh my god. And what's weird about it is the cat looks like Persephone. And kind of acts like Persephone. Seriously, Persephone is the kitty who gives no fucks. She just doesn't care. She would probably, if somebody like pointed that, she probably would just be like, oh, hello, what's this? And speaking of, she's right here. Yeah, the big poofy tabby, that's exactly like Persephone. Bobby's parents come home and they're like, oh, what's going on? And Bobby still hasn't told his parents that he's a mutant. I guess he's sort of coming out of the closet that way. And yeah, going back to Storm and Jean and Kurt, we see a little bit of an interaction for Storm and Kurt, which is a great scene. I really want to fan dub that scene so badly. I can recite the entire scene off by memory and almost pick perfect tone, exactly the inflections, everything. I just love that scene to death. They create some Storm Nightcrawler shipping, which I think in some comic things that they were together at one point, so yay, foreshadowing! And there's something that Nightcrawler says that I absolutely take to heart. That, he says, like, outside of the circus, most people are afraid of me, but I didn't hate them, I pitied them. Do you know why? Because most people will never know anything beyond what they see with their own two eyes. That is so freaking true, and I really hold it to heart. Like, really, people really don't see past appearances, past anything. They just don't see the suffering, they just don't see anything. They just see the appearance and get judgments. We all get like that, some not meaning to, but still, this really gets to heart, and I love it to death. I really want to do a fan dub of that scene, because that is just, one of my favorite scenes in the entire film. It's so beautiful. So, yeah, they finally contact Storm and contact Logan, wondering, like, they imagine it's been attacked, and they're like, oh my god, and then they come to get him. And that's when the police find them. Excuse me, I just ate. Sorry. They find it because Bobby's younger brother called the fucking cops on them. Why? It's because you found out your brother can turn things into ice. This is a legitimate reason to call the police. Like, there are people in the house, they won't let us leave. What? It's their house! They can tell them to leave. You can tell them to leave. What do you mean they won't let you leave? They don't have a gun. They're not threatening these people. It's just a little shit being a little shit, so that starts that. And the line from the mother, oh my god! This woman! Bobby, have you tried not being a mutant? Actually, you know what? I can't believe I didn't think of that before. I can just try not being a mutant. Oh my god, you just solved the entire thing, woman. Praise be to this genius woman who has come up with all the answers. Just don't be a mutant. Why didn't we think of this before? Oh yeah, because it's fucking stupid! Obviously, gay allegory there. For that, like, have you tried not being a mutant? Yeah. If we could, it'd be a lot easier, but it's just something we can't really do. Some people can, others just can't. And they shouldn't have to. Again, another line from Mystique later on this movie, like, yeah, the Vanut stay disguised all the time, you know, look like just anyone else, because we shouldn't have to. Exactly. You shouldn't have to. But for Mystique's case, I think it would be okay. At least put on some clothes. Mystique, that was another point that I wanted to bring up in my last X-Trospective. Like, why doesn't she wear any clothes? This just bugs the shit out of me. Why is she not wearing clothing? Yeah, she could shapeshift. Yeah, okay, whatever. But at least put on some fucking pants, woman! Like, when she's kicking around, does everything show up? Does she cover herself down there and at the top too? Is she concentrating on trying to keep herself concealed that way, or does it happen naturally? What is going on? How is no one else disturbed by this? Like, if she does the kung fu kick thing, is certain things going to be exposed? This is quite disturbing! Yeah, so anyway, I guess Pyro attacks the police with fire. Great plan there. They're not gonna be mad at all. They come and get them, and then, yeah, they go up in the air, and the whole jet fight scene is like, well, somebody's angry. Yeah, I wonder why. Oh, the little interaction, like, who the hell is this? I'm Kurt Wagner, but this Buddhist circus I was noticing. Incredible Nightcrawler. Yes, save it. Oh, poor Kurt. It's okay. It's okay, I love you. It's okay. You'll get a hug. Yeah, and Stryker's trying to use the professor to, like, brainwashing the professor using his own son. Using Stryker's own son, bound to a wheelchair, like, with tubes in the back of his neck, pumping out the serum. This poor man. This poor man being subjected to this. Oh, good lord. That poor guy. Being brainwashed to use Cerebro so he can concentrate and kill all the mutants ever. You do know that committing mass genocide on a global scale is still not okay, right? You do know this. Like, I don't think the president or any kind of military, or even how mutants are viewed nowadays, mass genocide is still not okay. It's just not okay. How could you think you would get away with this? Like, these villains' plans just have no exit strategy. They really don't. Like, you do know that mutation is, like, something that just happens when you're born, right? Like, even if you manage to kill every single mutant currently born on the planet, there will be born again. Like, there's women who are pregnant who will most likely give birth to another mutant, so... And I'm pretty sure that Cerebro can't detect mutant fetuses, so unless that happens, your whole mutant killing planet thing is not gonna work. Because they will eventually get reborn. They will eventually come back, because you just can't stop evolution. It does not work that way. Evolution does not work that way. Non-evolution doesn't work that way. But anyway, yeah. This time, I think, it's called X-Men Unite because Magneto and everyone else and the X-Men team up in order to stop Stryker because, yeah, mass global genocide is still not okay. And they use Nightcrawler to get into the place because they know it. And Jean and Logan share a lovely scene together. And Logan kisses her, like, really passionately. Oh my god, yeah. Here's a little random tidbit. I'm just gonna go off on a tangent here. I'm already going off on another tangent, but anyway, yeah. In the TV show Ally McBeal, yeah, I remember I just watched Ally McBeal just to see Robert Downey Jr. in it. Don't judge me. He only finally got there in season 5, like, oh yay, Robert Downey Jr. Anyway, so, and the woman who plays Jean was Robert Downey Jr.'s ex-wife in this continuity of the show, and they do share a kiss. So, technically, you just saw Tony Stark making out with Jean Grey. It's legitimate. You could totally put that in there. Tony Stark made out with Jean Grey. It's canon. But anyway, yeah. Mystique and Kurt share one little tidbit scene together. That's just a little nod to the fans saying, these two are related! Yeah, I'm not sure why Kurt isn't questioning why there's a woman who looks almost exactly like him in this film, or why Mystique is not kind of going like, wait a minute, he looks like Azazel, or the man I used to know, is like, oh shit. This is my son. This is my son. Like, how could you just not... How do you just not know that? And Mystique suddenly gets the hot for Logan. Where this came from, I don't know. Like, he stabbed you through the chest. It must be true love. What is wrong with you, woman? What is wrong with you? And she gets a makeout scene with Logan. Like, almost gets to the full base, but yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so they break in and Mystique gets this glorious kick-ass scene. Yeah, Logan's comment. She's good. You have no idea. Yeah, and they get in, and Storm and Nightcrawler go to save the kids, and Wolverine goes off on his own to confront Stryker, and again, of course, he runs into Death Strike with the whole nails thing. Like, holy shit. Yeah, you're screwed. Yeah, you're in trouble there, buddy. And she can heal exactly like you do. Oh, this is going to be a tad complicated. Oh dear. I should have thought this through. He finds the adamantium lab in which he was experimented on, in which the whole thing happened, where he got his adamantium skeleton, and yeah. So, flashback memories of that. And the whole other death scene in Cerebro almost gets going, and yeah, the whole headache thing, and yeah, the whole scene, like, everyone's like, yeah, that's quite heavy there. Oh, wait a minute, there's a little bit scene that I forgot to mention, like, when Storm hears the kids calling for help, and Nightcrawler is there too, there's something that kind of happens, like a little editing thing that the editors really should have picked up on, but you can probably see it depending on which kind of TV you have and the lighting, but anyway. There's a part where she sees the kids and turns to Nightcrawler and be like, can you get them out? And all of a sudden you pan down and he suddenly teleports and then they're like, whoop! And then he steps out of the shadows to be seen. But what you probably don't know is that a little bit beforehand, when you see the kids down below, like right in the center of the shadows, you can actually see that he's in there. You can actually see Alan Cumming standing in the shadows, waiting for his mark to pop out of the shadows and be like, oh, yeah, now I'm here. You can actually see that. Depending on which version you have, you can totally spot that. You really should have got that, editors. You couldn't make it just a little tad darker, or asked Alan to close his eyes so his eyes wouldn't pop up, or at least, like, the contacts wouldn't pop up. I don't know. I don't know if it's there, but you can try to look for it. And if you see it, let me know. Or if you already knew about it, let me know. But it's just little things like that I find, like, yeah, you ruined the illusion! He doesn't teleport, you ruined the illusion for me! You ruined my childhood, why? Or maybe it's on this. Do you know what this is, kids? This is a VHS tape. Yes. This is an ancient device which uses tape instead of a CD. Back in the days, there was this box called a VHS player, and you put these in the player, and the things would spin around in the top of the thing, and it would be like film, and you would see the movie this way, and you have to rewind it, and you have to fast forward it, and when the tape was over, you had to rewind it all the way back to this box in order to see it. That's what happened back in my day, back in the old days. Yeah, this is how much of a nerd I am. I have the DVD and the VHS tape of this movie. This is how much I love this fucking movie. Once Magneto finally gets through to the Cerebro and stops it, he suggests to Mystique, like, like, while we're here, Charles is brainwashed. Alright, Raven? Yeah. And then goes on the whole thing, like, telling people, maybe you should kill all the humans instead. Yeah, that's an idea. Okay. Dude, you've tried this once already. This is not gonna work. Mass genocide on a global scale. You cannot get away with this. And even then, like, mutants and humans, the same thing would only happen in reverse. That's the case with Mystique and Victor. They produced, like, Creed, or whatever his name was, who was a human. It is possible, very still possible, that a mutant and a mutant parent can still probably have a human kid. It is still kind of possible. So either way, it's not gonna happen, it's not gonna work. Because evolution does not work that way. Ah! And then Storm and Nightcrawler go in and stop it with the whole Storm thing and freezing poor Nightcrawler to death. Yeah, this weather right now, I kinda feel you, buddy. And they put a stop to that, and the whole building collapses because the dam is about to break because something of, Jean whatever did. And the whole dam is about to flood in and all that stuff. And then Jean decides to go and sacrifice herself because her powers are accelerating now. For no explained reason. And so she just goes out and says, like, I'm just gonna sacrifice my life because, yeah. And she makes the whole, flips the switches on with her mind and flips up the thing. Why she couldn't flip those switches inside the building or inside the Blackbird, I don't know. Either way, she does the whole heroic sacrifice. She stops Kurt, blocks out Kurt somehow from teleporting to her, and possesses Charles long enough to say, I know what I'm doing. This is the only way. Goodbye. And you see the whole aura thing around her, the whole big wave and fire symbolizing the Phoenix, and she just accepts her fate. And this does not bode well for Cyclops, and Wolverine is just, like, completely awestruck, completely devastated by it, while Scott's completely broken up and bawling. And Kurt says a lovely prayer for her soul. And yeah, they confront the president before shit goes even further south, showing, like, yeah, Stryker was doing this to mutants and doing this kind of stuff. Yeah, you might want to focus on working on this problem before you work on a mutant problem, because what he was doing for all these freaking years and you people didn't even know about it until now needs to be addressed. This is not okay. This is not okay. And Kurt in the corner, up on the ceiling, is like, and the person like, nipped. I love that little scene. And yeah, then everyone goes in their separate ways, and yeah, they kind of find a way to move on. And I think Logan and Scott get a little resolution, sorry, on their whole issues. Yeah, she did make a choice. She chose you. Why she chose Scott, I don't know. Scott is, I'm sorry, but he's boring. He's boring and kind of a dickhead. I'm sorry. He just is. Logan is so much more complicated character, and yeah. And Scott was petty and jealous the entire time? And didn't, why couldn't you choose Wolverine? You seriously, would you turn down Hugh Jackman? Would you turn down Hugh Jackman? I don't think so. It's physically impossible to do. You just can't turn down Hugh Jackman. You just can't. Yeah, as you can probably tell from my long-winded explanation that I love this movie to death. This is my favorite X-Men film. Not only would you see great character moments that I cannot possibly go over in this whole thing because I just can't really remember them all at the moment, but there's just so many great moments in this film, so many great little character nods and story nods and future foreshadowing that was actually really good. And oh my god, I just cannot go. I could go on and on and on about this film. I love it that much. Yeah, it's basically one of my favorite ones ever. And if you people are wondering what I think about the Nightcrawler in the X-Men Apocalypse one, it looks so cool. I like how it with the flock of seagulls hair. Kurt Wagner in the 80s. I am in. To see Kurt in the 80s. The flock of seagulls hairstyle with the things. Oh, I cannot wait for that one. Oh yeah, so totally. Oh yeah, I cannot wait for this film. Not only did I love it because of Nightcrawler, but because of absolutely everything else. Like, all the other characters in this movie get great moments. So much legitimate drama and so much everything else. Oh my god, I love this movie. Like, what else could I say? Probably basically nothing. There's just nothing else to say. This film is epic. This is awesome. You should definitely go see it if you haven't already. Rewatch it, rewatch the special editions, rewatch the interviews with the cast. Get to know absolutely every little bit and nod. Oh my god, this movie was amazing! Alan Cumming was amazing! And, yeah, even Rogue got a couple of little scenes here and there, even though she's sort of not existent in this movie, but whatever. But Rogue, we'll get to that in the next one. Thank you for joining me on my rant and retrospective. It wasn't really much of a perspective, more like a fanish rant, but anyway, thank you for listening anyway. So what are kind of moments that you enjoyed from this film, please let me know, and we could discuss them, yeah. And anything else that I kind of missed that I should have addressed, please let me know. And then for next time, it's X-Men Days of Future... No, wait, I'm skipping ahead. No, because I actually want to go to the good X-Men movies. I have to look over X-Men Last Stand, don't I? And then Wolverine Origins, don't I? Why did I start this? Why did I start this? I have to look at those films. Ugh. Yeah. This is probably going to be filled with Bacardi, the next one we see, because the only way I can ever get through it. Ugh. And join me next time for X-Men The Last Stand. And what did I think of that one?